Imagine this, a music mogul worth nearly $1 billion, sitting in a courtroom, shoulders slumped, staring at the ground like he's hoping it'll swallow him whole. Sean Diddy Combs, the man who once dominated the charts and parties from Miami to Manhattan, now looks like a ghost of himself. Moments ago, the jury finally shuffled back in. After days of tension, they'd reached a decision, sort of. 4 out of the 5 charges were settled, but on the biggest one, the racketeering conspiracy that could label Diddy as the kingpin of a criminal enterprise, they're completely split. Some jurors refused to budge. Meanwhile, his kids sat just a couple rows behind, dressed head to toe in black, huddled together like they were bracing for an impact. Eyes darting, hands fidgeting, clearly terrified about what might come next. And that's just the start, because what the jury couldn't agree on might end up being far more explosive than what they did. So what exactly is Diddy staring down? It's not some petty party scandal. It's a laundry list of charges that sound like a twisted movie plot. First up, 2 counts of illicit travel tied directly to Cassie Ventura, his ex, who's already accused him of years of harsh mistreatment, and another woman listed only as Jane. Prosecutors claim he didn't just cross lines, he steamrolled over them, orchestrating trips, payments, and quiet agreements to keep these women under his influence. Then there's the charge for transporting women across state lines for improper activities. It's blunt, unsettling, and sends a clear message that this wasn't just random. The feds argue it was systematic, planned, funded, and protected. And let's not forget the alleged involvement of hired companions, substances, and private events that painted the picture of a man living above any law, certain his power and money would keep everything hidden. That's why, even without the racketeering verdict, these charges alone could tear apart his empire. But the bigger question is, was this just reckless celebrity excess, or the carefully managed operation of someone who thought he'd never get caught? Here's where it stops being just another celebrity scandal and turns into a nightmare that could ripple through the entire industry. The racketeering charge, or RICO, is what they use to take down mob bosses. It means the government isn't just saying Diddy did bad things. They're saying he ran an entire organized operation with layers of people handling his tasks, from arranging travel to managing payments to resolving issues quietly. Think about that. This isn't about a one-off party gone too far. The prosecution laid out a decade-long plan, trying to prove he built a system designed to mistreat women and protect his empire at all costs. It's the only charge the jury couldn't agree on, and that alone says how massive and tangled this is. If they come back and decide he's guilty, it won't just mean prison time. It'll crack open his circle, drag other big names into the spotlight, and might even destroy the last of his brand. But if they stay deadlocked, Diddy might slip through on this one, which is why every lawyer in that room is hanging on a knife's edge. Inside that courtroom, you could almost feel the air turn cold. Diddy sat there in his cream-colored suit, but it did nothing to hide how small he suddenly looked. Slouched forward, eyes locked on the floor, barely moving, like he was trying to vanish into the wood grain. Just behind him, his kids were clustered together, all dressed in black. They looked like they were at a funeral that hadn't even started yet. Nervous glances, biting lips, clutching each other's hands, watching their father's empire teeter on the edge. And the jury? They came in stone-faced, refusing to look at anyone. Days of picking through complex details, deciding whether this was a reckless star or the head of something far darker. When the judge finally told them to keep deliberating, you could almost see Diddy's shoulders cave. He knew this wasn't over. The clock is still ticking, and every tick could be the one that changes everything. He acts as outside that courthouse. The real spectacle is playing out on every gossip blog, podcast, and Twitter thread. People are whispering that this case is just the start, that there might be private files stored securely, ready to surface if certain people don't get paid. Some even claim Diddy's quietly transferring funds overseas, preparing a smooth exit if the verdict goes the wrong way. Others go further, mentioning names from hip-hop stars to Hollywood A-listers, speculating who might have been at those private events, or who could suddenly face scrutiny next. Of course, a lot of this is pure rumor. No solid evidence. Just the internet running wild. But the fact that so many believe it, that's telling on its own. It means Diddy's not just fighting charges in court. He's battling a public already convinced there's more trouble under the surface. And if even a fraction of these whispers turn out to be true, this story's nowhere near finished. So, where does all this go from here? Tomorrow, the jury marches back into that tiny deliberation room at 9 a.m. sharp. Their job? Try one more time to decide if Diddy's just a reckless star who went too far, or the leader of an organized operation that ran for years. If they break the deadlock and come back with a racketeering conviction, it'll be one of the biggest celebrity downfalls in decades. If they stay split, we could see a mistrial on that charge, forcing prosecutors to either walk away or prepare for a challenging retrial. Meanwhile, those other 4 counts, the ones they've already decided, stay sealed until this last piece falls into place, meaning Diddy has to wait anxiously, knowing the verdict could come at any moment, and his fate could shift from billion-dollar boss to a new reality in a blink. And for everyone else nervously watching from the sidelines, they're hoping tomorrow comes and goes without their secrets brought into the open. So here's where it all stands. A global icon, once untouchable, now pacing the courtroom floor with everything on the line. By this time tomorrow, Sean Diddy Combs could either start plotting a comeback or be facing a prison sentence that'll outlast his fame. Either way, the spotlight's intense focus won't fade. Because even if he walks, the whispers won't stop. The rumors, the lawsuits, the people suddenly stepping forward with their own stories. They're just getting started. And for the rest of the industry, it's a stark warning that the walls are closing in. Money, fame, influence, none of it matters when the secrets finally come to light. So keep watching, because this might be the moment the whole glossy empire cracks wide open, and what emerges could change everything.